Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, after a big Heat win. And with me today, we got Franky G, co-founder of Stream Beat and Draft Beat.
No Terry, and barely any Terry in the fourth.
No,
And
Terry.
good shit happened. Who could have thought?
No, Terry, I'm so happy. We got Saucy Taste, Coach Lou. Lou, what's behind you?
The sign, and it is brightly lit today.
Yes!
The brightest. That shit is shining more than it ever has. At least this season. More than it ever has.
Yes!
Do you hear
Lou,
them?
Dude, that looks like a cloud. That doesn't even look like words on it. Like, what is
That's
that?
'cause
That just
we're
looks
in
like a giant
heaven.
cloud.
We're in heaven. This is for Moose. Well, almost 95%. But almost this is for Moose, guys. Come on.
Is this for draft beat?
This is for draft beat. This is we let me sip some victory water.
We got Kyle Scarlett. What's up?
I feel justified. That's all I got to say.
Listen, we're going to get into all that. And, of course, last but certainly not least, producer and co-founder, Brian Goins.
Hey, we're only 3 back from the 4C, guys.
Listen, there's a little bit of joy circling around this team, people. And you know what else is joy? The fine donors on Twitch. Leches Agenda's commissioner gifted a 1-month sub to just milk. So just an account. Eric the Great.
Very fitting.
52 fucking months. Round of applause for Eric. Said Jimmy Butler, who Heat culture, we bike. If you are in Twitch chat, remember you get a free subscription to us. That's how you can support us. !Prime in chat to access that. Just Jared, just subscribe with Prime. It's 25 months. Says let's fucking go. We might not suck as bad as we thought. And right after that, King Barrios 89. Shout out for the subs. Said no Terry in the fourth. The joy is back. People in chat calling this the Twin Tower combo. Listen, there's a third tower. It's Niko Jovic. And that's where we have to start today, because the Nico Bam, the Khalil Ware and Bam lineup has kind of been the second life of this team after the Jimmy Butler drama. And Lou, Nico, we had talked about this. We had talked about it on air. We had talked about it in private. The next evolution of this was going to be Niko Jovic playing with that front court with them. And I mean, the help is just so much better on defense when that guy at the nail and when that guy helping and stunting and digging is a legit 6'10 on offense. Kind of all the permutations of pick and roll. Lou, they won a huge game against a team that they always struggle against. But if there's anything to take away, it's that lineup getting unlocked.
Yep. That's what I was screaming for after this whole evolution of Bam and Ware and people wanting Bam and Ware. We have 3 guys. Like, our youth is currently with size. Most of it has legit size, and they're versatile enough to play together. And today we saw that against a team. Like, let me remind you guys, the first time we played the Magic this season, I think it was opening day, they slaughtered us with size. They absolutely shredded us with size. And we came back today, and, when we put that lineup in, that's really what brought us back. Like, the amount of defense, the amount of length, how aggressive it allows your bad defenders to be, or your average defenders to be, in Duncan and Tyler. Like, it lets them be aggressive knowing that they have 2 to 3 guys that they can fall back on. I thought Nico was spectacular guarding Franz Wagner down the stretch, going over screens, fighting through screens. I thought Bam was spectacular again on Paolo Banchero this entire game. Ware is just getting funneled these players, and he's letting what he does best, which is jump out of the gym and, have that athleticism really, really shine. And it was just a beauty to see. It was really impactful defensively and offensively, even though they had some tough stretches. That's why the 5th player in that lineup is Duncan Robinson, because he fixes so many spacing issues that you would have otherwise. It
And
does not matter.
Terry
Yeah.
Rozier.
No,
Very
no, no.
importantly.
We're not. I'm not even going to talk about Terry today. I'm done with that.
And
But
listen,
yeah, he just helped them. G, like it was. This is what I wanted to see. Like if you're talking about a building step forward, this is the way. Like Frankie and Moose were saying in the other chat, like this is a team win for them to jump forward, to boost morale, to like really get the locker room behind what Spo is doing. I felt this was the most Spo has been himself all year, in my opinion.
Oh my God. I mean, there was like, let alone Mr. President, there's been a third tower.
Nice.
But I mean, Frankie, I tweeted about this earlier. Like the empty corner in the pick and roll to help Tyler when he's getting blitzed, that makes that pass to the rolling big. It doesn't have to be as tight. He doesn't have to worry about a guy in that corner intercepting or anything. That was huge. The fact that they're switching again, now that they have all these big lineups out there, they're more comfortable switching Bam because now you're not killing yourself on the back end rebounding. I mean, there were possessions where Bam was switching all over the place. That fourth quarter, that all happened because of that guy's incredible defense. Nico did an incredible job on, I mean, pretty much everybody on ball. I thought his defense on Wagner, Franz Wagner was incredible, Frankie. The defensive flexibility coupled with kind of Spo just in his bag, like Lou said.
I won't give Spo credit until the fourth because some of those decisions, the fucking lineup that got killed at the end of the third quarter, sticking with that lineup to start the fourth, but removing Tyler, so they had less offensive juice and getting burned 5-0.
He's figuring stuff out though, Frank. Yeah,
there's figuring stuff out, and there's like this shit is never gonna work. I should never do this, and some of that shit that's Spo's been throwing that out there. But like it was like no Tyler or Bam to start the fourth, and they were getting
Bam
killed.
was out because of foul trouble.
No, but he had 4 fouls. He was fine to play, but you need one of them to run offense, and they were getting killed. Nico finally getting to play with them opened up a lot for them. Just took some pressure off of Tyler and Duncan as ball handlers. He got to handle the ball, take care of the ball, while the other two got to run offense and run around screens. Big thing, the Bam and Kalel lineup before this game came into this game shooting 38.81% from 2 inside the arc. They shot 38% from 3 as a team. They almost shot higher from 3 than 2. This game they were actually using their leverage in with the double big lineups into rolling to get lobs at the rim. It was at a stretch in the overtime. It was 3s lob, 3 lob, 3 lob. Like they were finally making them pay if you overhelped, and a lot of it was having Nico there to take a lot of pressure off Duncan and Bam because they were getting blitzed a lot when he wasn't on there, and he brought so much playmaking to them.
I mean, he was huge. I mean, Kyle, let's talk about your vindication, because I know you feel some sort of way about this, about kind of everything that went down today, kind of these bigger lineups and all that stuff. Talk your shit, man.
For one, I liked Nico hit some big shots down the stretch.
Huge. That one shot where he's pretty much in jail, picked up his dribble, does some weird push shot, falling over, hits that late in the fourth quarter.
From 28. If he can hit that consistently over a period of time,
this is the one, the 3.
Broken play. He's way out there.
No, and that was confident, and he's already backpedaling. Like he knew that was cash money.
That's 1. 2, he's playing, and Spo don't listen to us, but I'm gonna say that I feel like having him do what we've been talking about since the beginning of the season, which is handle the ball. If you don't have anybody else to handle aside from Bam or maybe Tyler, having Nico handle the ball gets him activated and playing to his best skill set, which is playmaking. That gets him activated. For other guys, it's getting shots up. For him, it's getting guys involved, and then eventually he starts to make some shots. Having that athleticism with Bam in where is there's my vindication. Just and we asked for 5 minutes, and we got way more than 5 minutes now.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
And so I'm not gonna lie, I would have been happy if we won with Kalel's dunk at the end of the end of the fourth, towards the end of the fourth. And having the luxury of having Bam on Banchero, which is like unheard of. If you talk about any seasons, that's unheard of. And him to be able to make it uncomfortable and just kind of, obviously I felt that there was going to be some calls of a too big lineup. The rest kind of got both Bam and Khalil in some foul trouble. It was a physical game on both sides. But I think they managed playing the physicality without fouling down the stretch. And that's what you want to see when you employ this lineup. Duncan also hit some big shots, several big shots.
But Duncan made plays like that last play on defense where he kind of fights over and disrupts a pass that gets Miami the turnover. I mean, that was huge. The cutting, there was one, I think it was in the second overtime, where he's curling and he doesn't curl to do a handoff. He curls and cuts through the middle of the floor. Right. Bam gives him a beautiful ball. He finishes. There was that one play where he gets to the basket and tries to fucking yam on Orlando Magic.
Yeah. I wanted that one so bad.
Dude, Franky, I literally got up.
He almost had that.
Brian, I could not, dude. That was at the end of the fourth. That was like near the end of regulation. I was like the fucking gall to try.
I thought that was overtime.
Shit.
Was that in regulation? I can't.
That was overtime. That was like the second to last play or something.
Yeah. Whatever it was, it was at a very important moment, and I was like, the confidence to do that, to be like, fuck it.
Yeah, Chad was right. I forgot Duncan was like questionable to enter this game. He was technically ill.
Sick. Yeah. He was sick tonight.
He was
pretty fucking sick. Yeah.
Chat says that Duncan was going for that ga. Shout out to Alf.
Bam also played insane.
Oh, I think the ga of the night was that wear dunk. That was
no,
crazy.
No.
How high he reached. He should be in the fucking dunk contest. What the fuck are we doing?
I don't think Bob Dunks are that impressive for the dunk contest.
And we talked about the threes, right? We talked about, is it possible? And I think that was Lou's point some pods back, is can Khalil make the shot often enough to give Bam space to work?
He was 4 for 4, bro. 4 for fucking 4.
And he
all off the catch.
The shot
all off the catch. And at the Kyle,
top of the key.
It's the fact that it's the top of the key. Because you stretch defenses so much by doing that. Like the corner three is easier, but you stretch guys at the top of the key, because really, if you're guarding a guy at the top of the key, you're really not in help position at all.
But it's also reads like this where Tyler drives, he sees Goga stuck under the rim, and Khalil could go to the basket as well, but he goes space up, gets an easy catch and shoot, makes the easy pass for Tyler.
And I love, we talk about shot preparedness. I love how prepared he is to get the shot. Like he's already getting his feet set he knows the shot's going up, whether it's going to miss or not. He knows the shot's going up and he gets prepared to shoot it. And having that makes Bam's job easy on offense, he was able to get a lot of plays at the rim. He got some of his mid-range going. I think that it's going to continue to take, there'll be some lumps here and there, but I believe if they can build some continuity, there's a lot that can be unlocked offensively, not just for Bam and Ware, but for their other teammates. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
I like what Rockin' On in chat says, no one in the league blocking that. And I think that's kind of the benefit that you have of playing like these multiple big lineups. Yeah, except maybe Wemby. You got a guy that can shoot that and that closeout, it's going to be hard to contest. Brian, I got to be honest, man. Bam today, that was and I saw someone in chat say Bam showed why he's the captain. I tweeted that out too. He hits that mid-range shot on the left baseline and he's jawing at the crowd, and I'm like, that's my fucking captain right there. I think he needed that. I think everything, we haven't mentioned 22 at all today, and I don't really think we have to, but the fact that everything that's happening to this team, and it kind of feels from the outside that they're falling apart at the seams, and for him to put that performance as a captain together at home in front of your fans against that team that's always giving you problems, it's such a fucking huge win that came off honestly his best game of the season.
Yeah, no, I think it was not just for Bam, but like Bam especially had a great night, but like it was just a shot of confidence that everybody in this team really needed. Well, I guess minus Terry Rozier, he's still pretty bad, but everybody else on the roster, was able to show, in different in different areas of the game, like how they can contribute. And that's kind of what we're expecting now with, this new lineup moving forward without Jimmy, is that, these guys need to figure out what their roles are. And I feel like this game in particular was the one that kind of showcased some of the best, aspects of everybody's game tonight, with Duncan's shooting ability, obviously the way he plays off the dribble, in terms of how he, cuts and stuff. We saw a lot of that. We saw Bam. We saw a lot of the dribble handoff tonight. I think that was something also that I think we should point. Like that came back in the offense, and it worked when they made that comeback, and especially in overtime, they went to it. Especially because like you're tired, and what was actually really helpful for Miami to get their offense going was having Tyler and Duncan still moving off screens and stuff, and that really contributes to a lot of the points that they were able to generate towards those last two overtimes, especially.
For sure.
So I mean, they didn't get subbed out. Like that's what's also really crazy about it, is like they were playing with like zero gas at some points. So it's just impressive that they were able to still kind of run those kind of plays for them during the end of the stretch. Because if you looked at Orlando's offense, they were pretty much a straight up isolation the entire time with Franz and Jero. And then just looking down the roster, like, obviously Tyler shooting night was kind of and I think part of that reason was, and that's something that Ethan had mentioned it. Yeah, he had a play where he drove, and I think he made the basket layup towards like the second or third quarter, and he fell kind of awkwardly towards the Pantheon. So I think he fell on that, kind of like got banged up. He still played the rest of the game, but he didn't really look to drive as much anymore in this game. So curious to see if he'll be on the injury report after this one. The Heat play
him against Cleveland.
They played Wednesday, right?
Cleveland,
yeah, Wednesday against Cleveland. So we'll see if he plays.
Problems before,
yeah,
right? That's the same hit.
Is it the hip? I don't know if it was the hip.
It was like his calf.
Bam, when he got banged with
Bam
KCP, that was definitely a hip, and he still played through it as well. So I'm just curious to see after this game what the injury report's going to look like, because I think Bam and Hero could potentially be on it. Hopefully they still play.
Yeah, I hope that Bam can build on kind of what he's been doing, because I think that they need some sort of momentum right now.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean it's just huge. I mean, they're in sixth place right now. Detroit lost against Cleveland, ironically enough, and Miami's beaten Cleveland already. I believe they go on the road to play Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. So
home, right?
Is it at home? That would be
yeah, it's at home.
Yeah, it's at home. Okay, so never mind. So home game against Cleveland, don't got to go anywhere. I think that's really important. I think it's doable, right? So they've kind of showed that. Lou, they talked a little bit about Duncan Robinson. I want to stay there a little bit and kind of talk about. We're going to go back to the three big lineups. The off-ball screening with all these guys it's just another element to their offense that, I got to be honest, they haven't had since the Olynyk redacted days, James Johnson, all those guys. Like there's a lot of screening. There was a lot of Khalil screening, Duncan relocating out of the corner to empty the corner, Khalil rolling. Duncan will come off that screen for a handoff. He'll come off that screen just for a catch and shoot. They're doing it for Tyler. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Tyler had a 12-assist game today, because there's so much motion off the ball, because there's real guys. Because when they do that with guards, it's all nice and good. It's such an easy switch.
Yep.
And with the big, you have this rolling, you have a popper, you have Bam, again, 9-assist night. When that big gets involved, he can pass. Lou, that element to their offense, I think, was so needed.
No, yeah, and to your point, I pulled up the stats, G, for the closing lineup ended up playing both overtimes and the final 8 minutes, literally 18 minutes on the dot. They had an offensive rating of 116, which is above league average, and their defense was 68.8, which is like way better than the best defense in the league.
Historical.
Yeah, like that hasn't been done since the 3-point line. Since before the 3-point line, probably. But yeah, like the offense working was, they got a lot of they were able to get a lot of twos off. They shot well from the 2-point range with that lineup, 9 for 13. I think a lot of it had to do with so much, like you said, the screening, being able to free up some of these shooters. And when they get two on the ball, being able to have the roller be Khalil or the roller be Bam, or Nico in space, but just being able to like have so many guys who can pass for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like so many guys who just know how to make a quick read and process. Like even the drive that Nico had in the end of the fourth, it was no time left. The ball swung to him. Him and Khalil ran like basically a corner pick and roll almost, and he was able to get the lob up to Khalil. Like just so many. It opens it up so much when you have so much creators on the floor and so many guys who are not just willing to pass the ball, but willing to screen to get other guys open. So I think that was like a really big thing. They ran almost the same play for Duncan like 4 times where he came off and curled.
Yeah.
Then he got Bam a lob. Then he got himself a layup. You know, that play kept working. They kept going to it. But they're, you know, just finding avenues of where this can click. This is where, you know, like you're not really like, I mean, you're glad with the results, but this is what you want to see this going forward. You want to see this going forward because like it opens up creativity for the team. It opens up, you know, possibilities. It gives you a chance to look at them together. Maybe you can see what you're missing and try to get that piece in there eventually, but it gives you a proper evaluation of your young guys. With enough minutes, with enough big game minutes, with meaningful minutes, not just with scrap minutes. It doesn't matter. So I'm curious to see if anything changes going forward with this lineup. Are they going to continue to get minutes? Is he going to make it a point of emphasis to get these 5 guys on the floor together, as opposed to just like they closed today because that's what was working?
Let's be
Nico,
honest, those are their 5 best players.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's probably true. But yeah, it's the 5 you want to see. Like realistically, you have 3 guys that are really young, and you know, obviously Tyler's still 23, and Nico
24.
and Ware, 24. You want to, Nico and Ware, you want to see those 2 guys progress. But then you have your captain and Bam, and you need an engine there. So that's what Duncan brings to that, you know, element to that team. It's just a nice blend of both now and for the future, so you can kind of see where your team is going. You know, where they want to target whatever they want to do in 2026, like it's been said. But I'm fucking thrilled with this win. This is the best win of the season.
You think it's better than the earlier Cleveland one?
Oh yeah.
Yes, because I knew Jimmy wasn't going to be here. Like, let's be honest. Like this Heat team was when Jimmy was here and they were pretending he was going to stay, and now like, all right, things are bad. So yes, this is the best win of that season. Like I had a feeling Jimmy wasn't going to be here. So this is the best morale win for this team. They beat or better than the Rockets win. The Rockets win was also incredible. But again, we knew what was going to happen. It was
that
just
Rockets
eventual.
win was without Jimmy too, right?
Yeah. And on the road.
Yeah, that was on the road without Jimmy. I think
might
the
be
Cleveland
onto
win.
something.
I think this one feels better for vibes' sake.
I agree.
This one. The nation needed it. I think we all needed it. I think when this fucking
Twitter
game got booted up, I think we're all groaning like, 98-90 Heat Magic. This is going to be awful. They're going to score 12 points in a quarter at some point. We're going to all fucking hate it. Spo's going to play Rozier too much, and he's going to get hunted. And listen, I still think 25 minutes is too much for that guy, but we're moving in the right direction.
Baby
Franky,
steps.
let's talk about Bam defensively.
Man,
because big fella was depoy level again. I remember a few years ago he talked to Zach Lowe, and he said sometimes he would rogue switch when he wasn't supposed to. And I saw tonight that came back. There was a possession with Bunkero where I think Bam just switched on him, and I forgot if it was Tyler or somebody. He just literally pushed him to the other way.
It was Tyler.
I got it. Yeah. He's like, I got this shit. And a lot of switching. And like we talked about before, the fact that, the Heat were out rebounded by 4, ultimately negligible margin. You know, so the fact that they're able to switch that amount, still have the back end. You have Khalil freaking Ware, who's legit 7 feet. Nico 6. Tyler, great rebounder for his size. You know, you have all that allows Bam to kind of get out there and bother and pass Franky. He was that run, particularly at the end of regulation. He was the backbone of all of that. Yes. Orlando could not score. He disrupted everything that they did. just masterful.
It's just like when people talk about versatility defensively, like Bam can guard 1 through 5. It's not on a switch. He is fighting through screens. He is switch. He can go under and drop. He can go over on the ball on screens. He can contain. He can do everything on there. And just like this was a game where early on Ware was in foul trouble, and then Bam later on got in foul trouble for some stupid defensive over aggressiveness. But they had to play small at times, and they really held their own defensively just because Bam's versatility, being able to stick him on Paolo and hold his own, not like completely shut down his side. It's like you see like in the NFL, you got
Rivas,
just a blanket just on an island there, let him go. But credit to everybody else as well, because there was a lot of I felt like Tyler and Duncan had a lot of great gap help. There was one play early on, late in the last overtime, where Paolo had Duncan on an island, and he was ready to go at him from the top of the key. Tyler blitzed to send the double, made him pick up his dribble. Ball got to Anthony Black, and we'll take that over Paolo every day. So everybody played really well defensively. The effort besides Terry and a few minutes of Pell. Pell struggled. I love Pell's fight, but he struggled. And it was the Magic got off to a hot start shooting wise. They were shooting 45% from 3 early on, and that cooled off. Especially once they went big, where they got to like Nico's not a great defender yet, but he's using his size really well. He's competing on the boards. Him and Ware inside, while letting Bam go and guard Franz or guard Paolo, and Tyler and Duncan being ready to stunt and recover to the shooters. Like this wasn't a one-man show, but I felt overall this was Bam's best game of the season by far.
Oh, by far. I'll
9 fast break points for Bam today too.
Yeah.
So like he got out and ran. Like he was.
I have that one where he stole the pass from Tyler.
Yeah.
Where he goes, nope, you're not. I'm getting that one.
Dude, there was I'm not gonna lie, like the aggression that he had off the dribble today, I was like, what's the John Wall, Bradley Beal? I never ever seen you act like this before,
dude. This up fake. Look at this up fake. Boom,
and one.
Got him strong.
Yeah,
it was quick.
That and one was huge.
Do you have the play where he takes Black off the dribble?
I don't
and
think
dunks
so.
it.
No, I don't have that one.
Yeah,
but he had this dagger on the ISO.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about earlier. Look at him go. He needed that.
That was like a playoff caliber, mid-range jumper he made there.
Yeah, dude.
The way he celebrated too, it made me feel like this was a playoff game.
And
they were talking so much shit.
I didn't mind that shot because again, lay clock, jab step was in rhythm.
Go get a bucket.
That's why he's a max guy.
What I don't like is when he just sets up shop there and waits 10 seconds early in the clock. That's what we don't like. But you're in rhythm, you're in a fucking dogfight, you're getting guarded one-on-one, you're feeling yourself. That's okay. And I think that that has to be the balance of the offense. It's not never do that. It's you need to pick your spots when to do that. And I don't. Bam is not trying to shoot as many threes. Which did he even have an attempt today? 0 attempts today. I gotta be honest with you. I'm okay with that. I gotta be honest. At the beginning of the season, I was like, "Hey, I want at least 1 or 2 a game," and I think we've realized that he's not ready for that yet. If he has an open shot and he can take it, I think he should take it. But I think today was the balance that his offense needs, and again, the playmaking first and foremost, and of course, as we talked about just now, defensively, it was, chef's kiss. Depoy, captain.
But I think this was a lot of this was this is the most engaged I've seen Bam all season offensively. Offensively, there's all season, and I completely agree with you on the 3-point shooting, but a lot of it has been on his own doing with him not being prepared.
I agree.
Him not being prepared to shoot. His shot prep has been awful with his feet in his hands, and this game he was just reacting and playing.
But Franky, that's
the
reason
game
why
in the post.
it
was just aggressiveness.
He's not a natural shooter.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
I agree. What you're saying is correct, I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, we had talked about this off air. Me and Frankie talked about Bam just looks more comfortable with the pull-up threes. he's shooting 36% on the season for pull-up threes, but he's shooting like 24% on catch and shoot. It's, to Franky's point, it's the shot prep. I think the overthinking today, he just played a simple game. He didn't overthink things. He was aggressive. He was assertive. He wasn't looking around for help. He was like, I'm going to make my move. If it's not there, he's going to make his move with a point to score. If it's not there, then he's looking out, which is what you want from him. Like,
and directing traffic. How many times all game he was telling guys where to go positionally, offensively?
In the fourth, he told Ware, like, what are you like? Ware was looking at him, and he's like, you got it off screen for Duncan.
Oh,
and
dude, I remember that, and he's like screaming at Duncan to come.
Yeah, and this is like, and we're talking obviously about this one lineup, but that was the whole game, because early in the second quarter, Haywood Highsmith got. Went after Khalil because they were in zone and he messed up his coverage.
Yes, I heard that.
And they gave up it's these kind of things, like these guys care, and can you imagine you're being told you're not good enough? That's just going to get to you. Like, realistically, today the team showed that. Like, it got to them. Like, they had came off of a horrible stretch, losing games, getting blown out in 4 of their last 5 games by 20 points. It felt like
some of them to bad
teams. Some of them to bad teams. You don't think they've heard that? Like, they've heard what everybody said. Like, this has gotten to them.
Sick of all of this, and
exactly
exhausting. And at the effort today, the energy that those guys had, they were
fed up. Took a charge. Like, where's that been all season, bro?
They were fed
this
up.
This felt like
today.
a fucking Heat game. This felt like a Miami Heat team. And it's crazy to say that when I think the guy that's embodied the culture of the franchise is not there. And they just they did it. You know what I mean? It was, the beating heart of Udonis Haslem was on the floor tonight.
And Big Papa ETJ in YouTube says that killed Bam's stretch of not scoring 20 points since 22 announced he wasn't happy. Like, a lot of talks has been made about Bam's performance offensively, and rightfully so. He deserves all the criticism. But this felt, the news today of the indefinite suspension must have felt like such a relief. Enough of this fucking circus. We know who we got. This is all we fucking got. This is all we fucking need right now. Let's play ball freely. We're not worried about.
There was a lot of freedom
circle anymore.
There was freedom. There was joy.
Yeah.
They played faster. I think that's one of the things that I noticed most is that they played faster. They played more decisive. There were some areas where obviously they did ISO a few times, but only in necessary moments. But I feel like they played with more decisiveness and they moved the ball well. And that's really what got them back into the game. And then they matched the physicality. I think I think I've said it before. I prefer for them to play ugly. Make it ugly. If it's not working pretty, make it ugly. And when you dive for loose balls, when you block shots and grab rebounds, when you play gritty defensive basketball, the offense works because it energizes. So I feel like the ball found energy. I feel like guys, felt confident, and just stringing some, I was saying that the young guys just need to build habits. That's kind of what that is. Like, when you have a young team, you need them to build good habits, and not everything's going to go perfectly. And so they're going to take their lumps, but if they can kind of string games like this together where there's effort, where it's not going to be pretty every time, where you're not going to immediately get the lead, it helps. It helps be a little bit more excited about what's the possibilities, especially when you talk about Bam, when you talk about with Nico. I feel like that's not the only, they weren't the only contributors, but between Ware and Nico, needing to take strides and to like kind of figure out their own niche. I think Lou mentioned it a couple pods back, like let them figure out what they need, what they're going to do, how they can contribute, because they want to contribute. You saw some emotion, which Ware typically dunks the ball and he's back down the court. But I think just as an example where he dunks the ball on what is it, Jonathan Isaac, to put them up 2.
That guy.
He put some, he flexed. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, you want that from your team.
You mean this one?
Yeah. Dude, I love that.
And that's what you want, right?
You know what he said after that? He said, "I voted for Kamala."
And the funny thing is, that's a playoff of Nico, which I've been screaming. If you let him play make, he's gonna find guys. He's gonna put balls in spots and having
The
a
big
target.
to big stuff, Kyle, with Nico has just been great. I mean, the 4-5 pick and roll with him when he plays,
And they've kind of gotten away with it since Square's been starting.
Yeah.
But I think kind of playing them together. Now, I have a question for you guys. Do you think that this lineup starts next game?
No.
No.
It's very unspo to start this lineup again.
Well,
Yeah,
you say that, but they went from no Bam and Ware to Bam and Ware a little bit. Then there's like, start the second half. Next game, well, full-time starters.
I like Carlos Carvajal in the chat says they could finish. Like that's a finishing lineup for them.
I don't think that you should start them, mostly because I think you're gonna need, unless you're ready to play Kevin Love minutes off the bench.
Or
I think
Kashad.
you-
Like they need another 4-5 to come in and spell.
That's
I think more of a 3-4, another
If you
big
get a
wing.
if you get a Kelly Olynyk and a Jimmy Butler trade,
No, but honestly, like I think that they gotta find. I think that Highsmith has to. I think Highsmith has to play. I think he's just really good, and I think he kind of helps that bench unit. I think the issue is balancing like how much offense and how much defense you have in that bench unit.
Right.
I think a little Alec Burke. I'm in on a little Alec Burke.
We're
Yeah,
not playing
I
old
just
guys.
think-
I mean,
The
I'd
only-
play him over.
You know, ideally, Lou.
I mean,
Terry
over
Rozier's
Terry,
not a
yes.
piece of, ideally, Terry Rozier's not a piece of shit, and he could fucking man a second unit.
You're right, but
we don't live in a world where that's the case. The guy that you fucking traded a
But-
first round pick for can't even wipe his own fucking ass properly.
And I'm the negative one.
and here's my thing. I think I would prefer, and I've said this before, Kalel's, Bam's an athlete, we're talking about just athletic guys. I would love in just small spurts to see them use Kashad near and around the dunker spot, because he uses that athleticism. He's playing down. Like when he
Carla Tiana says, "Don't insult a piece of shit."
when he's playing in the G League, and obviously you can't run the exact same sets, but there's some curls. He makes himself available. Utilizing that athleticism allows for you to maybe give guys spots where they can rest a little bit. I'm not saying he needs to play 25 minutes.
I don't know, and I agree with Chad. I mean, I don't think Kashad's ready.
he might not be G, but that's fine. Like
This
we have
is
two
not about
different
being ready.
This
This
is
is about-
two different objectives. Like this is about evaluation, like seeing you know, whether obviously he got that contract, like the standard contract was due to the Drew Smith injury, but you have to see what you have in him from time to time. I'm not like, to Kyle's point, like I'm not asking for 20 minutes, but I would like to see 4-minute spurts every now and then. We can all agree 25 was too much minutes for Terry. We can find that to go down to 15 somewhere and give 10 other minutes to other guys. I think that wouldn't hurt the team at
Like
all.
Alec Burke.
No, let's.
Oh, Josh Christopher.
You're missing the point. We need to go young.
I
The
think
only old guy that should be playing on this roster is Duncan Robinson. Is Duncan Robinson 30 years old? That's the only 30-year-old I need playing. And that's because if he doesn't play, our offense crumbles.
I like a little bit of veteran.
You know what,
leadership.
G? You know what? They can play in practice. That'd be great for them.
They can fill in on an injury night,
Yeah, on an injury night.
Foul trouble, we can play.
Who
The
gives-
the thing about it is they have too many 2-guard sized guys.
Who
And
needs a
Burke-
vet?
and
Well,
Burke's-
you know what the fucked up part's gonna be, Frankie, when Jaime's back.
I mean,
Yeah,
Jaime
just
needs to
give-
play too. Like,
Just give him all 25 of Terry's minutes if it gets that damn bad. Like I'm not saying he needs to play all 25. I'm just saying the other guy
Yeah, he does.
doesn't.
yeah.
Which he's had
I'd
had
rather
really good
Hawkins.
games stat wise over the last.
I
couple
just think
of
that like I mean, not that Terry's hoping you're spacing either, but at least they guard him. Their defenses have a modicum of respect for him shooting the ball, which they don't for.
All right,
for
I've been
Hawkins.
holding off long enough. Let's go to this Terry play. All right, he gets a high pick and roll from Kalel. Kalel picks and pop rightfully
God,
on the
that's great.
drop.
Beautiful, wide open.
Three
There's
guys
like
on him.
18 seconds left on the clock
This
right here.
Yeah. Oh,
Wide open Kalel, who's already hit like 3 threes at this point. And
We don't
this
need
is
him
what
to
he
shoot
takes.
that though, Frankie. We need more of this right here.
This is veteran.
I
leadership.
love dribbling into 3 guys, and I gotta be honest with you. That's a great shot.
That's worth a future first round.
You know
pick.
what's crazy? That's what like
Mhm.
90s.
That's worth
NBA
2.
That's what 90s NBA players on TVs love. They love that shot.
Pat Riley is regretting not
degrees.
sending them another one
Look,
right now.
I think that
Yo, did he hit rim?
No, I mean, does it fucking matter?
doesn't matter. I mean, you
There's
either
a-
make
That's
it or you
that's
don't.
how we're judging Terry Rozier's.
You
If he
either,
hits
you either make
rim,
it or you don't.
No, I'm just asking if he hit rim.
$25
There's
million
another one.
to hit the rim.
There's another one. He
Jesus.
goes up on what's their center? Who I guess
Goga?
huh?
Terry was
Goga?
okay, actually.
Yeah,
What?
Goga. He goes up on Goga, which I'm like, does he remember he's 6'2"? Well, what are you doing? He gets swatted reasonably, and he's just like acting like, oh, what happened, brother? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Like,
I'd rather Drew Smith play with one Achilles. He'd play better. He'd contribute more to winning
This
basketball.
team actually could use a Drew Smith.
Of
It really
course they
could.
could.
this team would be perfect with him right now.
They're gonna
I
get
think-
one in the buyout market. Who?
I think Drew Smith.
Nobody.
I think Drew Smith and a
Smart?
defensive-minded wing who can get to the free throw line would do wonders for this group.
Jalen Wells and Marcus Smart.
They need some two-way guys though, like
Smart can go to hell.
guys
But-
guys that aren't specialists like that. I feel like they're missing a lot of those guys.
You want to talk about a vibe killer? Put Marcus Smart here. You want to watch joy evaporate before your eyes?
Bruce
Put
Brown.
Marcus Smart near a basketball team. Hate that guy.
I got the Bam play.
Child's like, can we get Gabe Vincent back? Do we want Gabe Vincent back?
Not anymore.
Bam on the post up?
Excuse me?
One quick
I'd-
step, boom.
I'd pay him his
Boom.
11 million before Terry's 25. So yes.
I
This
would
is-
too.
This is what we need to
Frankie-
see from Bam in the post. Quick.
That's what I've always wanted, and it's the aggression, it's the off the dribble stuff, and it's the quick decisions. I think that the fact that and can you play that back again?
Yeah.
And he went baseline. He didn't go middle
Yeah,
like he does
look-
90% of the time.
Look at the way the floor is spaced too. So like we're gonna put this play back up here.
You got spacers.
Again, Bam is isolated. There's nobody on the wing. Tyler Hero's at the top of the key, and the Heat do this thing where they put kind of all their shooters on the other side. That guy guarding who is that? Jovic? It's Duncan in the corner. He's in the paint, kind of waiting for the Bam thing. But really, there's no other help.
But
like-
but this is an adjustment because they usually have a guy in the dunker spot there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And that brings the help. That it's usually Jimmy, Highsmith, Jaquez, Kalel. Somebody's usually in that dunker spot.
Mhm.
Finally,
They
spacing
can play 5
this
out. Yeah, they can play like
space this
real
out.
5 out, and all those guys can knock them down. So like, can you play it and pause it when Bam gets to the spot? So he beats his man. That guy collapses. The other guy's scared of totally committing because Robinson's a really good shooter. And
Yeah.
look, Ware comes
I love it.
immediately to crash.
They did
Immediately
this.
to crash. Hero's ready to defend if they're ready to go in transition. And I believe Nico's about to also kind of go in transition. So Bam and Ware are there to offensive rebound if they can. And Duncan's gonna, that's what
Yeah.
you want.
But that's the
winning
adjustment
basketball.
that they've needed offensively too, the spacing, because it's been so poorly done. This is Bam just being aggressive, facing up, quick move, quick decision. But the
hold on,
spacing
Frankie.
helps so much.
Let's say he doesn't dunk it, and let's say he misses the layup.
Yeah,
Ware
yeah,
is
Kalel's right there.
completely unboxed because Bam forces 2.5 guys to collapse because
you-
that other guy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
You see
that-
De Silva on the corner right there. He sees where he's looking at where cutting, and that takes away the help that's supposed to be there.
Yeah, like it's just that's basketball. Like that is how good offenses run.
It's creating an advantage with the spacing and then letting your players feed off of it, with their own skill. And they were doing this a lot when they were running the empty corner stuff. The guy in the other corner was typically Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
So then the low man was making, you have to make a decision. Are you going to tag the roller and leave Duncan?
And Bam makes
or-
that pass. Like Bam,
Yeah,
and Bam had
Mhm.
9 assists tonight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and
And
very capable of that pass. And that's a guy that's lethal in the corners, not even as a shooter, but if you overcommit on that closeout, that's a drive. That's a drive, and he's a good finisher. He's a good passer because now Bam's already in the dunker spot. So if he drives, so if your man comes and overcommits on the closeout, Duncan's going to drive right by you. And then Bam's down in the dunker spot. That guy has to come help on Robinson. That's an easy dump pass or the lobs. I mean, the lobs, it's been Lob City lately too. That's the other thing. It's like all these guys. And again, this is empty corner, pick and roll, 101, the Eric Spoelstra special, handoff, empty corner, all that stuff.
And that's all. And here's my thing: for somebody who I think he had a career high in steals tonight.
Who?
And
Black?
Black, he had a career high in
He had
steals.
5 or
tonight.
6.
Whoa.
And so to be able to do that against a guard, might I add, right? Like off the dribble.
He was so fucking annoying tonight.
Yeah, he made Tyler's night pretty difficult, which is crazy if you consider what Tyler had point wise. But this goes to my point earlier. Bam has the athleticism to do this regularly. I don't know why he doesn't feel this confident to do it more consistently, because he's done it before, at least in this season. But he's taking guys off the dribble, gone baseline, and dunked. I feel like there's more there, and to the point where you have Ware who's collapsing, or driving, or trying to get in the play to make sure, at least if the ball comes off, somebody's there to rebound, crashes.
But Kyle, like to my point about before this is Jimmy right next to this guy, and Jimmy's not a lob threat, so like he's just bringing his guy over. This guy De Silva has to keep the 3 second clock in his mind, and he's got Duncan Robinson covered out there. Paolo's guarding Ware, but he's got to worry about the crash, and he's a guy who will shoot the three. So it's just a big difference with the personnel. Like, you have guys like, if Bam is the only non-willing shooter, you can survive. It was such a fucking hassle because it was two guys who were not willing shooters, and only one of them was a real lob threat off ball.
Yep. And even when Jimmy was hitting threes at like a decent clip, I believe he was shooting like high 30s and
just
stuff
so
like that.
low volume that it's
not even that. I just think that teams don't care, and I think that it matters because I think they bet like you're just not gonna hit 5 threes in a game. Like, and kind of to your point, Lou, like the volume, like you may hit 2 or 3 or whatever, but like that doesn't scare you the way that we know Duncan can hit 4, 5, 6, 7 threes in a game. We've seen it, and that shit breaks your back. You know what I mean? Like, and that's easy offense, like like easy driving kick. You don't have to work that hard. It's pretty immense, guys.
Didn't we have Bam and Ware at the podium together today?
Yeah, they did.
The agenda is thriving. Like Eric Spoelstra, credit to Brian for putting this in the chat about what it mean on what this win. I can't read today, guys. I'm excited. I'm sorry. On what this win means on a day like today. It means right now that they prove themselves. Basically, we have a tremendous amount of grit. They gain confidence from that. Bam is the definition of a two-way player. I understand what people are saying about his offense, but we also can't forget how impactful he can be defensively. Whatever coverage, 1 through 5, and he proved that tonight with 2 difficult covers. And basically the players saying the Bam Jovic Ware that they liked it. They want that to continue. Like, they feel sometimes you need a little bit of adversity to bring you together, and that's kind of what tonight felt like in like the simplest terms.
Gee, how many 4+ 3-point make games do you think Jimmy's had it as a Heat player?
0.
3. You ruined the fucking stat.
God damn it. Jeez.
But 3 in fucking 5 or 6 years, whatever it's been. Like, Ware just did that.
And you want to try it again?
No, fuck you.
Come on. Just ask me again. I'll pretend I didn't know.
Nah.
Ask me, Frankie. I got you, dog.
Ask Duncan what time it is. Duncan had so much fucking like attitude today. I love it.
I love Duncan. Lou, to your point earlier when you that they're really taking advantage of the adversity. My dad used to say something to me like when Bachelor happened. He would say, "Never let a crisis go to waste." Like, always. that's such immigrant dad shit to say. But it's true. Yeah, Kyle's laughing. Bro.
I do.
And he would just tell me, never let a crisis go to waste. Like, if some bad shit happens, and I take that shit to heart. You know what I mean? And I think the Heat, it's very Heat culture to kind of do that. And again, huge win. Now they have Cleveland coming up on Wednesday. That's another huge game.
That's the test, right?
I think this was. Kyle, if they lose that game and they're just competitive, I'm going to come on the air and I'm going to be like, listen, this team's not playing for a title. They're playing to get out of the play-in and, see what happens if they can win around the playoffs. This team now, without Butler, there are no expectations.
Right.
Even when they're like a shitty seed, there are expectations. There are no expectations now.
And
they can play Cleveland and give a hard, moral victory season is fucking back.
Right. And I guess what I mean by test is you're talking about playing 2 of the top bigs in the NBA right now. In
Mobley and Allen.
Mobley and Allen, right? And so you get to see
This is perfect.
What happens when our two goes against their two, and just seeing what this looks like. And typically Cleveland beats the dog crap out of Miami on the boards. And so having two guys up front, right? Having two guys up front that have size, that you let Bam switch. If you're throwing Nico in there, as we mentioned, and you have spacing with Duncan and Tyler, it's a different feel to the offense that I think I was mentioning before, earlier in the season. Whatever Spo wanted to do on offense, it's slowly starting to take some shape. I'm not saying it's going to work every night, but when I feel like it got unlocked by adding somebody up there with Bam to give him some backup. And as Nico takes steps in towards being a better on-ball defender, which he had a couple of steals tonight, big plays on the ball. I'm interested to see what they look like against Cleveland, who typically plays with size. And I would love to see Bam lock up Mobley, because that's who apparently everyone is saying is who's lap Bam. I would love to see this. I would love to see it. So I'm looking forward to that game.
So a couple things as we get out of here. So Bam and Kyle, excuse me. That's
the Kryptonian.
Miss you, Kyle. Lowry. We have Bam and
here.
Khalil at the that's why I had to specify Lowry. Frank, I know we have some video. Something funny happened at the press conference today as we get out of here. So let's kick it to that.
Yeah, 1 second.
I thought we had a cue. My bad.
No, I got
We
it.
had 2 videos.
This is
This
Bam's
one's-
reaction to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a question from a reporter. I believe it's Ira. I can't confirm, but it's one of the reporters. I'm pretty sure it's Ira, asking Bam a question about Jimmy that kind of ticked him off.
Bam, this might have been considered a tough day for some. I'm sorry. Once again, sir. I apologize.
That's Tim Reynolds.
This might have been considered a tough day.
That's Tim Reynolds. That is not Ira Winderman.
Oh
that
my
back.
God, the
I didn't get
books
to hear it.
are shot.
Play that back.
I was relying on Twitter to help me out with that.
That's not Ira. That's not
Everybody
Ira.
told
That
me it was Ira.
That was
Everybody
Tim.
told me it was Ira.
That was Tim Purple Stu Reynolds.
Grimace.
Bam, this might have been considered a tough day for some. I'm sorry. I apologize. This might have been considered a tough day.
Bro, the
Bam,
stare down.
Considered a tough day for some. I'm sorry. Once again, sir.
I'm sorry on frame fucking 1 of the eye roll is hilarious.
Holy shit.
Is chat saying it's Brendan Tobin? I don't think that's Brendan Tobin, chat.
That's
Tim
Reynolds.
That's not Brendan Tobin. That is not
He said,
Brendan Tobin. That is Tim.
Goins has
fucking
been confusing
Reynolds.
everybody today.
I know that voice anywhere.
It got stuck,
Listen.
man. Oh,
This
brother.
is the behind the scene of the question was as he was asking and Bam gave him the eye roll, he said, I'm
gonna find out. I'm gonna text people that were there. We're gonna
It's
find
funny
out.
'cause if you look at Bam, if you read his lips, he's like, I don't want to talk.
Him Ira notes. That was a banger, Carletiana. Tim Ira notes is fucking. That's
What
elite.
what is
He said Tim Ira notes instead of Reynolds.
Goddamn,
Oh
I'm
my
doing it.
God. I would have. I'm not gonna lie, Brian. When you were putting it in our private chat, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's 100% an Ira move." That's why I was laughing. So I'm shocked it
And
wasn't
which is
him.
funny because we had that right when we were talking. We had the whole bet with the whole question when Jimmy came back for that first.
Yeah.
suspension.
That's
I
why I
thought
was
for
like,
sure it was going to be Ira asking
I was
these
like,
questions
this
because like
motherfucker cashed in again on the bet,
Yeah.
bro. That's crazy. But no, it was Tim Reynolds.
I'm-
Cash it in at your
have
local
asked-
bookie.
I have sent a text out to multiple people who are at the scene of the crime. Hopefully we get an answer in the next few minutes. Frankie, I know we have another clip from Bam and Ware at the press conference.
Definitely, like I said, it definitely gives us a different look. We have somebody that's 7 feet at the rim, so it allows me to be the versatile big, and obviously we've seen in the Olympics that it'll work. So for me, it's we keep this lineup going.
Bam, we know how important spacing is offensively to Spo with the way the game is played today. Obviously, both you guys can hit threes. How surprised have you been by how good Khalil is as a three-point shooter? How helpful is that from an offensive standpoint with you guys playing together more?
I mean, not only the threes, but we're both lob threats. So he's in a pick and roll with Duncan or Tyler, and I'm in the corner. And then my man becomes a low man. I cut, that's a lob, or he's going to get the lob. So it just adds a different dynamic. And then obviously, if we're open at the three-point line, shoot it. You know, Spo has that much confidence in us. I mean, you've seen the guy shoot the ball enough to where you believe it's going in.
Hey,
to chat. That's Florida allergies, people. When you leave Indiana, you come to Florida, it's allergies. That's allergies, bro.
Hey, nah. Khalil Ware getting used to Miami, man. Let me tell you, that man every 2 seconds out there. You be careful now, Khalil.
Why was he why was Khalil Ware why did he have his hands tucked like he was at a water slide?
I don't know, but he was sniffing like he was out in Miami.
It's different. It's allergies. It's
allergies via Colombia.
I mean, he might be getting that.
That's getting tariffed.
I was about to say that's getting tariffed along with my fucking coffee. That administration better fucking chill.
We should fucking tariff Terry, please.
Tariff Terry.
Tariff Rozier.
Tariff Rozier.